As I began looking for an instructional design position intentionally, right? It was very unclear for me as to what that path was going to be to my career. Right. And it was it was different from the government job that I had just came out of, or that actually I was still in at the time. And so, I didn't really understand where and how everything worked. So in this video, what I would like to do is identify some mile markers that can just serve as a guide for teachers who are transitioning into the field, and even people who went to college and got a degree in instructional design, and then now you just came out of college and you're wondering, how can I use this degree? Where can I use it? I want to get a job. I want to work. Okay, so these are some mile markers that I've come up with to help you along your journey. Now, as a preface, these mile markers are just guides, okay? This isn't a fast rule, because mind you, things happen in very unpredictable ways sometimes, okay? But there are there is a value in having a guide, and there's a value in having some type of, some type of path for you to walk down. Okay, it just makes it a little easier. So in this video, that's what we're going to go over. And so as you watch this video, just keep that in mind, that this is a guide. Okay, these are not hard and fast rules, but this is a guide. All right. All right. So the first mile marker on our path is discovery. What does discovery mean? So discovery means that this is the point where you discover the field of instructional design. Now, this is what this looks like. If you're a teacher, this is when you first hear about the field, right? You first are aware that your skills can transition into instructional design. At this point, you have no clue about what that entails. You just know that your skills may transfer. Now, if you were, if you got a degree in instructional design, this may be, when you are looking at degree options, or even before you go to school. This may be, when you were in one career and then you're like, hey, I need to look at some options as far as what career I can transition to. And then you look at instructional design. This is that point. Okay. The discovery point. Everybody gets to that point, even if you aren't a teacher or transitioning from a field per se. You could have gone into instructional design because of some training that you had to do within one of your jobs, right? and that like, oh, okay, instructional design. I didn't even know, one, I had the skill to do this, or I could do this. So that's the discovery phase. All right. So the next mile marker is the information and data collection phase. Collection phase. Now, this information and data collection phase is a phase where a lot of people stay. Okay. A lot of people stay here in information and data collection. Why? Because you can get into analysis paralysis. And the gift and the curse about the age that we now live in is that we have a lot of information, but a lot of times there could be too much information. But we have to determine what's important information and what is not important information. Okay. And how do you do that? How do you determine what's important and what's not? How do you determine what authoring tools I'm actually supposed to learn and what authoring tools don't really matter? How can I determine what what skills I need to learn and what skills are irrelevant? How do I know that? How do I figure that out? Now, the way that you can do that, one is you can look on Facebook or any social media website. You can look at LinkedIn, all right? Or you can find a mentor, okay, which is a shorter route because you can find somebody that with the experience that has already walked the path that you want to walk that can tell you specifically what you should be looking for. All right. Now, you can also join a work group. Okay. Join a group, join a instructional design group, and not just a group on Facebook or a group on LinkedIn that anybody can join and they post and everything like that. And those can be helpful resources too. However, if you join a group that is dedicated to working on the skills that you need to work on in order to become an instructional designer, excuse me, you put yourself in a better position than if you were to just go at it on your own. And really, what you're doing when you join a work group or you find a mentor, you are or join a cohort, right? What you're doing is you're saving your own time because the biggest aspect of instructional design, and really a lot of fields for that matter, is the practice of it, the practice of doing whatever you want to do. The information that you're going to get, the theory that you're going to get, and all the information that's out there that ain't gonna help you unless you understand what is relevant and what's not. And you'll get that information from someone with experience. Where do you get that information from someone with experience? Through a work group, a cohort, or a mentor. For example, I had a mentor. I had somebody who was like took me on. He saw I had some skills, put me on a project, and allowed me to really see the process for myself. What was relevant, what wasn't relevant, what aspects of learning theory I needed to know, which ones were like, okay, just nice to have, and how things actually worked in the real world in practice. And so from that experience, I gained more confidence and was able to apply to and also, have the opportunity to work on more contracts and more projects. So, we have the ID work group that um, that was created in order, well, for this reason, because you want to take strategic action toward whatever goal that you're moving towards. And if I can help you do that, then I'm gonna do that. So this video alone is really to do that, so that you can take strategic action, and then what phase you're in whenever you are moving into the field of instructional design. So, and again, these are mile markers, these are guidelines, these are this ain't like a hard and fast rule. I'm sure people can have other, they can debate or whatever. It is what it is. This is a guideline. If it helps you, it helps you. Great. That's the purpose. All right. Now, after you determine what information that you need, right? And mind you, and also I want to say that this information and data collection phase will be somewhat continual. All right, it's a mile marker, but it's something that will pretty much follow you, and you should be continually learning and continually collecting information and data and analyzing it and determining what's relevant and what's not. You should also be, have a mentor or have a work group that you're in or a community that you're in that supports you. Okay. Your first project. Now, your first project is where it's like where the rubber meets the road, where you actually get to put your feet on the ground and start walking. But all the stuff that you've been talking, all the stuff that you've been thinking, all the stuff that you've been dreaming, you get to actually start to manifest it, start to practice it. And in doing that, you'll start to learn what works and what doesn't work for you. You'll start to learn what your skills are. You'll start to learn what your preferences are. You'll start to learn how you groove, how you work. And as you're learning that, then you'll get to the point where it's like, okay, cool. I know that this is my strength. I know these are my weaknesses. Let me sharpen myself some more. Let me let me add to this strength that I have. Right? So that's what your first project is really going to help you do. Now, what I suggest is that you know, with this first project thing, right? If you are to the point where you're like, man, I can't find a daggone job, I can't find a project to work on, I say you create your own project to work on and you work on that. You work on that. Okay. And I know it could take a lot to actually get started on that. Okay. Don't put or put some respect on getting started. All right. Put some respect on that. It could take some work. But you can get started and then you finish it. It takes a lot to finish. Okay. It takes a lot to follow through and actually complete something. Put some respect on that. But as you do that, then you can have a product and you can do a couple things with that product. You can sell that product, you can showcase that product on your portfolio, and then you can learn through that product, your own product. So you've learned more about your skills and yourself. You've learned maybe a software, right? Because I know when I built the course Motherland Math, I was learning Adobe Captivate. I'd never used it before. Okay. I watched some videos. I, you know, I literally I watched some videos and just learned as I went. And, I used Canva for graphic design. I was horrible at it, but I learned there too. I went on what was it? Like Design University that they had or Canva University, something like that. I went on there and I learned. I learned about okay, color palettes. I learned about um, what contrast and composition and different aspects of instruction graphic design so that I can use in my instructional design. And and that process really helped me in my career and like there was nobody gave that opportunity. Like it was an opportunity that um that was created out of creating the course. So that's what I suggest. That's what I suggest. And mind you, that the I'm saying it like it was simple. It was not simple to get to that point of starting and then actually following through and doing it. Okay, that was an entire process. Okay, great, like not crazy, but it was a process. And I kind of allude to it in my story the video that it was a video that I made about my story. But whatever the case is, that's what I suggest for you. If you can't find a project, or if you haven't found a project, because you can find a project, but if that is proves difficult to you, or as you're waiting for your project or whatnot, or you're pursuing it and you're just waiting for that one project to come through, then create your own because even more, it'll put you in the energy of actually getting that project that you want, right? It puts you in that energy of getting that project. So that's what I suggest. All right, now the next mile marker is finding your groove. Finding your groove. So as you find your groove, you begin to learn more and more about your skills and about your style of working and start to refine your skills even more. And so this is when you're in your career and you're like, yo, I'm feeling good about what I'm doing, feeling good about my work. I'm learning, but I feel like an instructional designer. Like I feel like I'm designing stuff, right? I'm feeling good, right? And I got to this point where I'm like, yeah, I feel good. Been through this process a couple times and or enough times that I feel confident in what I'm doing. And so yeah, yeah, I'm gonna just keep going and keep sharpening myself, keep refining myself, and that's where you find your groove, right? You find your groove. However, like I said, the information and data collection phase kind of sticks with you throughout your career because there will be some things that you'll have to sharpen up on. There will be some things that you have to learn in order to move forward within your instructional design career. And there'll be things that shake things up, kind of like AI. Something like that will come through, shake things up for you. So you'll be like, all right, I need to, I need to, I need to sharpen. I need to sharpen up in that area. So that'll come for you. Now become a senior. Become a senior. It's another milestone. At this point, you're quite satisfied with what you've done in your career as a technician. Okay, like on the ground, building e-learning modules, creating curriculums, that sort of thing. Now and with this being said, you could be quite satisfied with what you've done in your career, right? As a builder, as a developer of e-learning modules and creating curriculums and things like that, and still do that, like still develop e-learning, still do animation, still do develop learning content, period. You can still do that. However, in this harsh portion of your career, you'll be more willing to um, consult. You'll be more willing to be a consultant and teach. All right, be more willing to teach during this phase because you're like, okay, I have the wisdom, right? I've done the work. All right, now it's time to share. It's time to share what I know. It's time to teach people who are coming up behind me, and you may even lead a team in your job. So you teaching them, you teaching your team helps the team, helps you, and it's just all it's all good. It's all good, right? So this is that senior part of the instructional design, learning experience designer journey, learning and development professional journey. Now, as far as and actually mainly like instructional designer, e-learning developer. That's what I'm really focusing on. Now, this next mile marker is director and beyond. So if you want to just go from a senior and you want to move up to director where you're directing an entire department, you're leading an entire department, you're managing things, you can do that, right? You can move up in that section, and you can even do, you can even start your own business, start your own agency, and start helping other instructional designers, move up in their careers. You can start to just manage contracts, manage work, right? That other instructional designers are doing for your own business. Or you can do it again, like I said, for an entire department at a company. Move to other companies and be a director there. But at this point, like, you've had the experience, you've had 10, 15, 20 years of experience and quality experience, right? And you're able to share that. You're able to, use that experience to elevate and uplift other instructional designers, and also just drive great learning experiences. So those are really the mile markers that I have as far as the instructional design journey. If there's any other ones that you can think of, feel free to comment. But that's what I think. Hopefully that helped. And until next time, what I say? Until If you like this video, bless us with a thumbs up, share it with someone you know who would benefit, and show some love with a sub.